everyone, welcome to the first episode of Gen AI Futurecast. I'm your host, Kushnak, and today we're talking to someone who's helping build the future of AI inside some of the biggest organizations in the world. Sai Vinnakota is a director of data, analytics, and AI, and he's led Gen AI projects at places like the Federal Reserve, Capital One, and Citi. He's built systems that help protect data, automate work, and make smarter decisions. Let's find out how he does it and what kids like us can learn from his journey. Hi, Sai. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into the big AI stuff, can you tell us what you were like when you were a kid like me?
Yeah, when I was a kid like you, Kush, I was very focused on playing,
Oh,
and just having fun a little bit.
yeah.
I'm very happy to see what you're doing, Kush, because of the curiosity what you have in Gen AI. And I was very excited to talk to you because there should be more people like you to have fun as well as to be more curious to learn.
I still do play
Yep,
outside,
absolutely.
out of the computers a bit. I still play outside with my friends, but I have fall break right now, so I am using my time to play with my friends and do this.
Nice.
So, let's go to the next question. You've built GenAI systems that help banks and government teams work faster and safer. For kids listening, how would you explain what GenAI is and why it's useful?
Oh, definitely, Kush, that's a very good question. So, how Gen AI work? I mean, how would you explain what Gen AI is and why it's useful, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, Gen AI is within the word itself and means generating, right? So, Gen AI is about generating digital information. It could be text, it could be images, it could be videos. Imagine the possibilities where movies could be made using generative AI or video games made using generative AI, right? How many video games could be there for the kids to play? Infinite number of video games, right? Similarly, imagine for kids like you or others, if they are interested, they learned about a topic and they wanted to know more about a topic, but teacher may not be there around them to teach them more or clarify their questions, right? That's where Janaya would come to help kids like you, where generative AI can push the kids' knowledge by sharing more information to them about the topics that they like, and also can challenge the kid by giving them the questions to make them think critically, analytically. Through the questions and the answers, it can reinforce their learnings. So, GenAI is a way to generate the digital information through which kids can learn quite a bit at your age or at all ages, as long as it is used in the right way. I'm absolutely okay for generative AI to be used by many people just because of the useful features it has. Was it helpful, Kush?
Yeah. And it's like you said, the movies, now it's an actual thing. Companies are now using AI to make movies, and companies are using Gen AI to make games. And I already made a game with the AI.
Very nice, very nice. Good job, Kush. I would love to see it one day.
Okay, can you share a full example of how Gen AI helped solve a real world problem for you?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a real world problem that I have built and that is used by people, right? For example, at the Center for Medicare and Medicaid, where I currently work, building generative AI solutions, the employees at a Center for Medicare and Medicaid would love to search information, and they have like thousands and hundred thousands of documents in the CMS. But when one search, they don't get an answer. They typically get document, and that's not much useful unless one opens up a document and reads the content in the document for them to get an answer. Instead, the solution what I built allows the employees to ask a question that will search thousands of documents and prepares an answer just like ChatGPT and gives them the response. That's one cool thing. Other thing, right, is that within these thousands and thousands of documents, right, there are lots of images that are present in the documents, but the employees may not know which document has what information. or which document has what image. Imagine if there are 1,000 documents, even if each document has 5 images, it's like 5,000 images. How would a human know which image is present in what document? It's very hard for them to remember it, right?
Yeah.
So the solution I built allows them to search, just give a name, search for some process flow or some workflow, and the solution will go search those thousands of documents, identifies the document that has got the images, pulls the images, and shows it to them. So for employees, what would happen is that, right, instead of them remembering where is the image, which document has the image, just by searching, it will pinpoint to them all the documents that has that image, and they don't have to remember it. In that way, they can search any image at any time from any document just by asking the solution I built. That what it does, right, is that essentially it does few things. Number one, it helps employees get an answer faster to their questions. Number two, they don't have to remember quite a bit. Just like ChatGPT, right? They can also have a dialogue conversation with the solution I built. So they ask a question, they get an answer, then they can ask a follow-up question, they get a follow-up answer, and so on. Until, just like you, the employees will also have the curiosity to learn more, right?
So it's just like when you give the employees something, and if the employees have like thousands and thousands of documents and they don't remember what's in one of those documents, they can just give it to GenAI and they'll know about it.
Exactly, right? Once.
So, you've worked on protecting sensitive data for millions of people. Why is data security so important in AI?
Definitely. Let me give you a very practical example. Before we answer why is data security important in AI, let me answer a question about why is data security important. Imagine, I'm sure your parents has bank accounts, right? Imagine if their bank accounts is stolen by somebody. What can robbers do with their bank account information once it is stolen? They can steal money from from the bank account, right?
Yeah.
So why is data security important? Data security is important to protect information or data that belongs to an individual. For example, my bank account number is my bank account number, and I have money in it, right? If somebody gets access to that bank account number, they can use various means to take the money from my bank account number. So my bank account number has to be protected so that others cannot use it. Only the bank or I can use it. So my money is protected and I can use that money for my family purpose, right? In the very same way, the data also has to be protected. The reason is because data, when people get access to data, they can use it in good ways or bad ways. To make sure that hackers or the bad actors don't misuse the data has to be protected. That is, in general, data has to be protected. Now, coming to why data security is important to AI, right? Is that in real world, employee of a company should not have access to every information in the company. The data is classified depending on what an individual is authorized to access. Some people may have access to all the information. Some people may have access to only a little bit of information. So data security helps in those situations where depending on what an individual is authorized to see and access, the data security can allow them to see everything or see only very little based on what they're authorized to see. Any follow-up questions, Kush?
Yeah, I just want to know, how do you make sure AI systems are safe and trustworthy?
Oh, that's a very important question. So the way how I make sure that the AI systems are both safe and trustworthy, right? Is that trustworthiness doesn't come just naturally, okay? First of all, lots of checks and balances should be put in place to make sure that the solution what we build can be used only by the audience that it is meant to be used. If everybody can access it, then the customers will not have trust in that product. So the way I built both safe and trustworthy solutions, right, is by doing the following. First, I work with the customers to understand what type of data we need to provide in the product. Make sure, depending on what a user can access based on their authority or authorization, and I build a solution based on those authorizations. Number two is to implement appropriate security checks within the product and the solution. Number three, training the users so they know what they can do in the product and the solution, and also make sure that the product is well tested before giving it to the end users. That makes the product accessible and usable only to the people that are allowed to use it. These things will increase the trustworthiness in a product. Now, what comes into safety, right, is to make sure that the solution, the GenAI product, is safe to use. The way how it is achieved is by incorporating what is called as guardrails in the GenAI. The GenAI solution should not respond to bad questions, or should not respond to questions that can harm people, or should not respond questions, even if anybody asks a question, if they're asking to harm themselves, or always tell the solution to answer questions in a way that can help people, not to damage them. That way, by making sure it is helpful, it is harmless, and it is not responding to bad questions, I make sure the solution is safe to use, or the product is safe to use.
Yeah, that helps. So, most of our listeners are kids and their parents. What advice would you give to someone my age who's curious about AI and wants to build something cool?
Yeah, first thing is learn Python coding. Second thing is to be a great analytical thinkers. Without learning coding, one can imagine, but the imagination doesn't convert into products. Only if one learns how to do the coding, then they can use the coding and the analytical skills, and then convert their imaginations into real products that people can use and help the humanity.
So, yeah, everyone has to learn Python at some point in their life.
Definitely.
So, now let's move on to next question. Okay, so what's one skill you think every future AI builder should start learning now?
I think obviously Python coding is one thing. Besides that, they'll also have to learn and understand about the generative AI foundation models, like the ChatGPT that you may have used, or the Gemini that you mentioned earlier, right? Those are all GenAI foundation models. You need to learn how those Gemini, or the ChatGPT models were built. What is its underlying working architecture, and so on. That way you can understand how they are built. And as you learn Python coding, as you learn more skills, then you can build super GenAIs, right? Or like super chat GPTs, or generally available artificial intelligence, right? So that you can build more amazing products than what are currently available.
Yeah, so you think they should learn about AI, all the models and stuff. So let's go ahead and move on. This topic is a rapid fire round. This is going to be a completely quick rapid fire round. Just say the first thing that comes to mind.
Sure.
What is your favorite AI tool or platform?
Chat GPT.
One word to describe GenAI.
Infinite possibilities.
If you could build an AI for kids, what would it do?
To teach a kid in a way that can make them understand and unleash their full potential to do great things to help humanity.
What is a dream AI invention you wish existed?
A artificial intelligence solution that can do all tasks for me, so I have all the time in my life to have fun with my family and friends.
I guess that's about it for now. Mr. Sai, thank you so much for being here. You've shown us that AI isn't just about tech, it's about helping people, solving problems, and building a better future. To everyone listening, stay curious, keep learning, and remember, your ideas can shape the world.
Thank you so much.
This was GenAI Futurecast hosted by Coach Nack, powered by Curiosity. See you next time. Bye.